Hey there Cosmic Warriors, and welcome back to another video. Okay, so in today's video we are going to be taking a look at the compatibility, so looking at the love and anger compatibility between both Sagittarius versus Pisces. Now I recommend you watch this video if you happen to have your Sun, your Moon, your Mars, your Venus, and also your Mercury within either of these two signs, because of course Mercury is the planet of communication, and communication is pretty damn important when it comes to compatibility and relationships. However, before we do get started, if you would like to know more information all about compatibility within astrology, as well as your Venus sign, along with your Libra house and your 7th house respectively within your natal birth chart, then I have created a Libra season/archetype ebook. So what I am going to do is I'm going to provide a link to that ebook in the description box below so that you can pick up your copy today. Alright then, so with all those introductions out of the way, Sagittarius versus Pisces, let's do this. Okay, so the first thing to keep in mind here is that these two signs are making what's referred to as a square aspect between one another within the zodiac wheel. And what square aspects can signify is that they can signify tensions, criticisms, pressures, and conflicts. But what I want to actually do today is I not only want to go over these tensions and pressures and such, I also want to look at how these two can actually work and come into a union together within a particular relationship. So with that all being said, let's look at love and romance and courtship to begin with. What is it really that these two signs may be attracted to within each other? So let's say, for example, that a Sagittarius and a Pisces meet for the first time. The Pisces may enter the room whilst the Sagittarius is in the room. This may be at a friend's house, they may meet outside at a party, they may even be in school together in class. So the Pisces may enter into that room where the Sagittarius is situated, and the Pisces can pick up maybe pretty right away on the energy of the Sagittarius. Pisces people are known for being highly receptive towards the energies that they feel within their environment. They can be very sensitive towards the stimuli that they pick up from other people. And so the stimuli that they kind of pick up from the Sagittarius may be one that it's exciting and it's upbeat and it's kind of fun and wondrous, but at the same time, it's familiar. And what I'm trying to get to here is that both of these signs, keeping in mind the traditional ruler of Pisces is Jupiter, but then the ruler then of course of Sagittarius is also Jupiter. Both of these signs are influenced by this energy that is very expansive and it's vast, it's huge, and it's very grandiose, okay? So that Pisces, when they enter the room, they may pick up on this grandiose, very larger than life energy from the Sagittarius, but then they may get quite curious as to what lurks beneath the surface towards the Sagittarius, or they may seek to sort of know what the Sagittarius knows. I feel that there can be that innocent curiosity, this sort of twinkle in their eye curiosity from the Pisces to the Sagittarius. But then, if these two actually start having a conversation, which you may find with the Pisces can be very alluring and enchanting in how they can come across, especially if they are attracted to someone or if they really are into someone. They're not gonna be so abrupt or make it super obvious to that person that they like them. but they are going to present this allure, or they can come across as relatively mysterious to other people. And so that mystery to the Pisces may also excite the Sagittarius. The Sagittarius then may become curious about the Pisces, but then the two of them getting talking, okay, bringing this back to the point, when they start talking, then what starts to happen is that they start to discuss philosophical subjects, maybe deeper sort of subjects than the average norm to everyday living right off the bat. It's just they go straight into the deep stuff, straight into questioning each other on their belief systems, what their values are, what the meaning of life is. Do you believe in God? These types of things come to the surface almost in a heartbeat between them. And already from that instant connection, then they may feel this like deep pull towards one another to want to discover more about the other. But like I was saying with Pisces, Pisces can be more mysterious. So that Sagittarius could be chatting it up with Pisces for as long as they like, but yet a Pisces has this ability, this weird way of talking to people, yes, but not really giving too much away at the same time. They always keep this layer of mystery to them. They may not be aware that they're doing this, or they may be fully aware that they're doing this, but that mystery is something that may excite that Sagittarius, where the Sagittarius then feels this strong urge to want to get through to the Pisces and understand the Pisces. Now, this is also where things can get a bit conflicted as well, because if we were to then bring this away from just the initial attraction, which can be very magnetically strong, if we bring this away from the attraction and put it into a romantic endeavor where they're dating for a little while, a conflict could then arise where the Pisces then goes into one of their moods, okay? Pisces is very in tune with their emotions, very deeply. And so they may be experiencing one of their moods. Maybe, for example, they are going into one of their really darker moods, and that can be really difficult to for the Sagittarius to understand, and the Sagittarius may not really get how to pull the Pisces out of it. But I feel that if the Sagittarius tries to come to the Pisces to pull them out of their moods, this can maybe infuriate the Pisces even more, because maybe to the Pisces that's not the point. Pisces sort of like to dwell and linger down there for a little while. Maybe not necessarily like it, okay, we'll not go with that. But they understand that they are going through this experience, and it's not about trying to pull them away from it, you know. They have to be able to move through that and flow through that experience for themselves. But the Sagittarius can have this tendency of being quite a pushy person in terms of optimism and seeing the silver lining and just remaining positive in things. Like, come on, Pisces, get out of there. Come on, let's go, let's get outside, let's get you some fresh air, let's do this, let's do that. This will make you feel better, Pisces. If that was then to kind of happen, then I feel the Pisces is going to feel more misunderstood than ever. Because maybe all the Pisces wants to do is they just want to sit and write their poetry, they just want to journal for a little while, they just want to be on their own, they need their solitude, they need their peace. However, I do also think that a Sagittarius can show Pisces hope in that way. They can help the Pisces still try to think more positively about things, or they can give the Pisces the space that the Pisces needs, you know. So for example, maybe they can have a conversation between each other and they agree that, okay, Pisces, you go and you do your own thing, you get into your own solitude for a little while, you unplug for a little bit, but I, as a Sagittarius, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and visit the store, or go to the shop, or go for a hike somewhere, gonna go by the water. Actually, maybe Pisces, would you like to come with me by the water? Because Pisces can also really find a lot of healing by being by the water too. So there's that. So there can be a way that they can communicate their wants and needs and desires towards each other. But then likewise, it can be really difficult if the Pisces doesn't like say it, you know, or maybe they're not even aware that their energy levels have changed a little bit. You know, I feel with Pisces energy, because they can be so sensitive and quite empathetic, and they are very in tune with not only their own emotions but other people's emotions, it can be difficult for them to decipher like really what they're feeling. And so they may kind of go inward and try to search for that feeling, or try to figure out like, why am I feeling this way? Or I feel this way, but did I pick it up from this person or that person or the other person? Oh, and it's so overwhelming. They can become so overwhelmed by their emotions. So if they're in that state and they don't even know like what the heck is going on, then that can be hard for them to communicate to the Sagittarius. Hey Sagittarius, I feel this way because of this thing. This is the emotion that's going on right now. Pisces people or types can just find it hard to articulate exactly what they're feeling, why they're feeling it, what's really going on. All they know is that it's a feeling. All they know is it's a feeling, and it's intense, and it's maybe painful, but then sometimes it's also exciting, and sometimes it's surprising, and sometimes it's scary, and sometimes I'm angry, and it's all these mood swings that just take them on these like irrational roller coasters of emotion, you know. So for them to learn how to sort of maybe say to the Sagittarius, I need time alone, I am going through something, I don't know why, but I need my time alone for a little bit, you know, that could be really beneficial for the two, but they need to be understanding towards this, you know. But what I will say with this couple in a very beneficial light, in a positive light, is that yeah, they can both be highly idealistic, they can both be really creative and bring a lot of passion and desire and inspiration to the relationship. They may even get to a point where they set the bar so high, or they consume to such an extent that they're not even aware of how much they're consuming together, or how much energy they're extracting into the relationship or overall. And yes, that overboard, like limitless type of energy when they come together can bring them like a lot of emotional healing, a lot of depth, a lot of energy, a lot of wisdom being exchanged, a lot of conversation, and just a lot of optimism and hope and faith together within the relationship. And it's exciting, it's amazing. But at the same time, I also think that this limitless energy may result in them being a little bit unrealistic or impractical with how the relationship is going. So for example, maybe they take certain things for granted, or maybe they make certain plans that they thought they could commit to, but then they end up not being able to commit to those plans. Or maybe they're more about the ideal of love, especially with Pisces bringing in the fantasy, you know, the fantasy world, and wanting it to be just this magical time with the partner. But if it gets to a point where, excuse my French, but shit hits the fan, when things get really serious, when things start to commit in a materialized way, where maybe there's children involved, there's money involved, there's stability having to be brought into the picture, like with a house together, they're paying the bills together, these types of reality, physical stuff, that may be hard for both of them to really stick at, you know, because they may just get so swept away by the ideals that they don't really learn how to materialize and stabilize the relationship in the long run. Now, of course, with that being said, this could be a great union if it is that you know, for example, that Sagittarius wants to go and roam around, and then the Pisces can sort of do their own thing as well, and then they come together into their dream world, into their little bubble, and it's all fantasy and gooey and it's lovely and dreamy. Yeah, great, you know, that can work. But if they want something more serious, I feel that these two signs should really think about practically, realistically, what measures they should put into place with one another in order to have like a long-term committed mutual relationship together. And I also think that both of them are going to be highly generous and giving towards one another, and just really big-hearted, like huge hearts towards each other, and just a lot of love to share with one another. But if it gets to a point where they go overboard and they realize, hey, actually, I spent all my money on you for Christmas, or I don't have enough money in my bank account to afford for this thing that we've been talking about for like months now. Sorry, you know, these types of situations may arise from this grandiose generosity that they can both bring. But you know, even if this is, let's say for example, that the two of them, they are really well financially off, you know, maybe they both are getting really good paychecks together. And so from that, they may decide that they want to go all out, you know, they may want to think big, like let's get the big house, or let's do the wedding huge, you know, let's do the whole romantic stuff, you know. Pisces is bringing that romance. Pisces is bringing the fairy tale qualities of love and just embracement. But then the Sagittarius is bringing all of the extra stuff, like let's do the glitter and glam, like yeah, you want that Pisces, let's do that then, like just throw all the money into this and let's make this experience happen. Yeah, you know. So that can be fun, like it can be a really fun time for them in that way, especially if they have the money and the means and the measures to provide for themselves. But still, I think it's still good for them to be aware of how much they are extracting or putting into something, like more long term, like how sustainable is this one-time payment or this one-time thing. How sustainable is that for us moving forward into the future together? Because I don't want to get to a point where they end up bankrupt, or one of them ends up bored or a bit unsatisfied because they gave so much at the beginning and it was just so full on that then they're like, I don't really have much left to give, or actually I'm not as into you as I thought I was. Maybe it was just for the excitement, or maybe it was just because I felt so inspired in the moment, you know. The Pisces and the Sagittarius can both be more moment-to-moment signs where it's, let's just see how it goes, you know, we'll see how it goes. They don't necessarily want to put like a time limit or like this boundary on things to say, hey, by this time we will have a house, or by this time we will do this. It's just like, right, am I feeling it? Are we feeling it? Are we in it? We're going to have a good time. You know, Sagittarius is about like fun and optimism, being upbeat and happy in the moment. Like, yes, energy, power, whoa, you know. And Pisces is like still in the moment and trying to feel through their emotions, and then something happens that the Sagittarius does and it pulls them in and they're like, oh my gosh, yes, Sagittarius. Then something happens and then it completely throws the Pisces off and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm so sad now, Sagittarius. You know, this can just go like, the Pisces emotions can just go up and down, up and down, up and down, and it can just feel like it's all systems go. You know, the Pisces can almost be pulled by the Sagittarius into this relationship, into the fun and the passion and the enthusiasm, where the Pisces maybe doesn't even have a time to process it. They're still in that moment. They're like, right, we'll still see how it goes, Then they get to a certain point where it's like, whoa, like, what? How the heck am I here? I never thought I would be here. I never could see this happening, you know. There's just a lot of unexpected opportunities that can sort of arise for them, and it can almost seem like the drop of a hat, you know, or like a lucky streak that just came out of nowhere. But if that is not given with a foundation in some way, or like some sort of solidity, then the actual relationship itself may start to crumble a little bit, or there may just be some implications. Now, in terms of affection between these two signs, I would say that there is certainly a lot of affection that they can provide towards one another. So the Sagittarius towards the Pisces can, of course, be very physical, a lot of energy, very full on. You know, they may be out in public together and they literally, you know how some couples just hold hands, it's really simple, gentle, whereas Sagittarius may be that type of person just to like, you know, like, my arm is around you, the whole thing. Or they may do the whole grabbing from the side, you know, on the butt and the hip here, that type of thing. Or they can try to just be these cheerful, funny comedians, you know, where they make their partner laugh. And a Pisces is certainly going to get the joke. They're certainly going to giggle and chuckle at the humor of the Sagittarius. Especially, you know, even on that note, especially if it's quite imaginative. You know, I forgot to mention this. There's a lot of imagination here between the two of them. So Pisces can be quite vivid in their imagination, but so can a Sagittarius. However, I feel that the Pisces can be darker. You know, their imagination can be more dark. And the Sagittarius may find this quite interesting, but at the same time they may shudder a little bit at the dark imagination that the Pisces has. But likewise, you know, that Sagittarius imagination may really excite the Pisces, and so some of the conversations that the two of them have may be very impactful, and they can sort of just keep a story going for ages and ages and ages and ages. That story will go on for miles. Like, they're just in their bubble together and they're just getting into their imagination, and it's just wonderful. And I also think that the Pisces can certainly bring their creativity. You know, they can introduce the Sagittarius to certain music and songs that they're into, that they really like. And the Sagittarius can also provide Pisces with different pieces of knowledge and information that they learn that the Pisces may be really into. But, you know, likewise, the Pisces may share just certain images or pieces of artwork or films and photography that is very emotionally like pulling, you know, just gets the Sagittarius more thinking about the emotional side of life. But still, looking at the Pisces in terms of their affection can just be very interconnected, very interwoven with the partner. They may love that thought of just merging, you know. So for example, if they're even laying in bed together or on the sofa, they like to twist their legs or rub their feet, like skin to skin contact on their partner, or they just may like to cuddle and really embrace with like warm embracing hugs that are so loving. And also they may just be those typical romantics, those types of people. But I also think that issues may arise if the Pisces is more romantically invested. Okay, so now we have looked at the love and romance compatibility between these two signs. Let's now address the anger compatibility. Right, so what I want you to imagine is that both of these signs are in public together. Maybe they're at a get-together. Maybe it's a friend's wedding that they're at, and they're going together as a couple for the first time. And what ends up happening is the family members start mingling and talking and such, and there's just some information that comes up that a Sagittarius may not be aware of from the Pisces side, but the Sagittarius kind of brings it up there and then, outright, just says it out loud, but that might be a piece of information that the Sagittarius does not know that the Pisces wanted to keep private or secret or hidden. So the Pisces may then start to, okay, they may be passive a little bit, may keep it in a little bit. They may be thrown off, completely shocked by how the Sagittarius is sharing this piece of information. And quite honestly, maybe the Pisces just wants to run away from the situation altogether. They just want to go into hiding. Because now everybody knows this piece of information, or family members are saying things, and it's just making the Pisces feel more and more secluded and just cornered in their brains, or like they just can't move. You know, it's almost like they're paralyzed in their position. Now that Pisces, they may kind of escape into their own world. They may physically escape, right? They may run away. That's a possibility. But they may also escape more into themselves. If the Sagittarius detects that they're escaping, the Sagittarius may try to get to them. You know, they may try to like help that Pisces come out of that emotional state or wave. And the more that Sagittarius pushes on the Pisces, they may push, they may push, they may push. That Pisces may then just kind of explode, you know, just go attack mode. If that Pisces explodes, says something like so sharp or like really dark and twisted almost, and almost sinister to the Sagittarius did not see it coming and it really hurts Sagittarius, then that Sagittarius may respond in a way that is very passionate and it's fiery. You know, and it doesn't even care about the Pisces feelings. You know, Pisces is feelings based. It's all about emotion. But with Sagittarius, it's just blunt, to the point, doesn't give a crap about how you feel. It's going to say it. So this could turn just into this really like chaotic situation between the two of them. However, it could even go where the Pisces may run away. They may retreat from the argument or from that embarrassing thing or piece of information being shared about them. Another example here, so looking at the Sagittarius towards the Pisces, and the Pisces doing something that pisses the Sagittarius off. Well, let's say for example that the two of them are on a night out. Maybe they're drinking, they're partying together, which by the way, the two of these signs together may love the thrill of going out and drinking and doing drugs or substances and whatever and whatnot. And what starts to happen is the Pisces starts to act a little bit strange. Now, the thing about Pisces is that they can be very, very sensitive, extremely sensitive. And so when it comes to certain substances, you know, even alcohol, it may impact them in a way that they start to act very differently. Now, of course, everybody can act differently whenever they're under the influence, but for a Pisces, it can be quite overwhelming, and the Sagittarius may notice the change in their behavior, or kind of notice little things that they do whenever they are drinking or whenever they're under the influence. But the Pisces may not realize this. They may be unaware that, you know, even when it comes to their actions overall, if we throw the drugs away, like substances away, just even them sober, Pisces people can have the tendency of doing certain actions without an awareness as to why they're doing it. And then whenever they're called out on those actions later on by other people, they literally forget about it, or they're not even aware of what happened. And so they'll say, you know, I have no idea what you're talking about. Like, that's not what I did. I don't understand what you're meaning. It's just from the observer's perspective, someone else looking into the Pisces, they're seeing something different. But to the Pisces little bubble, to their world, it wasn't anything at all, you know? So, yeah, whatever way this is lining up, Sagittarius then decides, I'm going to call out the Pisces on their actions, under the influence or not, whatever way. The Sagittarius, they are more about like truth and honesty and being real about things. So if they see something that the Pisces has done and the Pisces is just rejecting that thing, then, or being even in a state of denial, there can't even be that. The Pisces is fully aware of what's going on, but they're just denying it. You don't know. You don't know, like, you literally don't know if another person really does get it or not. It's up to that person, and you don't fully know if they're being honest or whatever. But if that Sagittarius thinks the Pisces is being dishonest, they're not fully telling the truth, then there can be arguments. So in this situation, it may just turn into this full-blown argument over who is telling the truth, who is lying, who's being honest, who is being dishonest, and so on and so forth. Okay then, Cosmic Warriors, so that concludes my video on the love and anger compatibility between Sagittarius versus Pisces. Now, if you do happen to have any thoughts and opinions on today's video, then please be sure to let us know in the comment section down below. But with all that being said, thank you so much for watching, thank you for subscribing, and of course, if you would like to see more videos from myself and you have not yet subscribed, then go right ahead and click that subscribe button. And I will be back with another video very, very soon.